I'm Jim Collison, and this is Gallup's Call to Coach, recorded on February 23rd, 2022. Call to Coach is a resource for those who want to help others discover and use their strengths. We have Gallup experts and independent strengths coaches share tactics, insights, and strategies to help coaches maximize the talent of individuals, teams, and organizations around the world. If you're listening live, love to have you join us in our chat room. There's a link right above us there on the live page. Just log in with your Google account, ask your questions in chat. If you're listening after the fact, maybe via podcast or on YouTube, you can send us an email with your questions, coaching@gallup.com. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a subscribe button right down there in the corner, and you can subscribe to it as well. Bruno Zadi is our host today. He works as a coaching community leader in APAC and a partner to me in that. Bruno, great to have you back on Call to Coach. Welcome back.
Thank you, Jim. So today, do you like me to? Okay. So today I would like to introduce two fantastic persons, Dalia and Libertha. Because we are all very inclusive, I will start to introduce Dalia, and Dalia will introduce Libertha after. So Dalia, it's long time, I know you, it's 6 years. And Dalia is a Gallup certified strength coach. Her top 5 are competition, maximizer, achiever, learner, and focus. So in the lens of Dalia, it's about achievement and be very competitive. You will feel that during the interview. She brings a lot of maximizing perspective. Dalia is the director and founder of Euphoric Coaching, a management consultancy that she has created 4 years ago. And her background is very particular because she started at 17 years old to teach and coach children from a low to middle income households. So she was always this perspective of helping others. She's passionate about mathematics and behavioral economic. She have joined Gallup a long time ago, and she stayed in Gallup during 6 years before to create her own coaching practice. And she have the opportunity to be trained and to connect with leaders, psychologists, researchers, subject matter experts. So she will bring a lot of insight in this call to coach. Her expertise are leadership development, set up novice leader for success, and bring leaders on the strength journey, building strength-based team, and 360 feedback coaching as executive level. And the topic today we have decided to maximize will be how Clifton Strengths is an accelerator for development and perform with confidence. Dalia, I'll leave you introduce Libertha.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Bruno. Hi, Libertha. Thank you for the introduction, Bruno. So here's Libertha Hutapea. She is a strengths champion and an HR enthusiast from Tokopedia, Indonesia. And Libertha, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself? You're the AVP of People, Partner, and Talent Development at Tokopedia. Tell us more about yourself and Tokopedia and what you do in Tokopedia.
Yeah, hi, hello, everyone. Thank you, Dahlia. Thank you, Bruno, for the introduction. So yes, I'm Libertha Hutapea. I'm the AVP of People, Partner, and Talent Development in Tokopedia. Basically, I'm heading several teams, in the people and HR teams there. Start from HR business partnering, organization development, talent and performance management. I've always been an HR enthusiast. I think HR has always been my heart since I was in the college. And I'm very passionate to help other people, especially the team or peers that work with me to understand their strength, their talent, and also maximize their potential in the most optimum way. My background actually not from people side, not with the HR areas, but actually with the engineering. But then along the years, I found that my passion is not really in the engineering side. So I take a career shift back then, and then here I am as an HR practitioner with many years in HR consulting as well prior to joining Tokopedia. I'm a maximizer. I'm a relator. I'm also a discipline and an achiever. And I found that all these strengths has actually helped me to perform well in my current role, yeah, as an HR practitioner. Yeah. So yeah, here I am, happy to involve in this chat together with
Yeah,
you guys.
well, we're both maximizers here and achiever too, Liberta. As long as I have known you since we collaborated about 4 years ago, I can really see your passion for people. And just like you, I don't have psychology or people background, but I come from mathematics background. But I think it's the maximizer, it's the your connectedness that really draw you towards helping people, and that's why you're doing it so well, especially in Tokopedia. From my observation and how I witness, you help all the nakama, all the employees in Tokopedia. So Liberta, share more about now with the awareness of your strengths, how you play to your strengths in your role in Tokopedia.
Yeah. So I joined Tokopedia 4 years ago. Yeah. So for those who doesn't really know what Tokopedia, so Tokopedia is actually an Indonesian technology company with a mission to democratize technology, commerce to through technology. Yeah. So we are an e-commerce platform, and we have millions of sellers on board in our platforms. And then my role is by the time I was hired at that time, so I think our employee is only like 1/4 of our current numbers now, and then a lot of infrastructures that needs to be built at that time. Yeah, so I was exercising my discipline and achiever at that time. I love routine, I love structure, so I'm striving to get the things done, make it all happens, and complete all the science projects. And I used those two of my strengths to really build a good governance. Yeah, a good governance, because at that time I think I found that so many unstructured processes and systems that needs to be fixed. And together with the team, we developed many governments, many guidelines, especially around talent and development strategy, and as well as I'm using my maximizer and a relator strength to educate, to coach all the leaders, the entire organization, and also my team to follow the right norms that we've created. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very glad that along the years I got this opportunity every day to exercise my strengths.
Excellent. Dalia, I would like to hear about, so your top 5 are competition, maximizer, achiever, learner, and focus. How does that play for you? Can you tell me a little bit?
Yes, I have a story. When I first joined Gallup, Jerry Hansen asked me, Dalia, how do you find your strengths? I said this Clifton Strengths is wrong, because at Gallup, you will put the top 5 at the desk. So everybody would walk past, and I was new. Everybody would walk past my desk, and they would see the first thing is competition. Bruno, I was like, that's it. I'm going to have so many public enemies, because I have competition number 1. And I was really trying hard to tell Jerry, like, Jerry, this is the reason why you hired me. If you look at my resume and my background, I'm a very team player. Like, I come from sports like rugby and softball and netball. Like, I never do like a solo sport. I was trying so hard to explain to him that I'm not competitive, just because I don't want people in the office to feel that they have to, that I'm going to be the public enemy. But anyway, after Jerry Hansen explained the Clifton Strengths to me, I must say I love my competition, because competition and my maximizer means that I don't settle with the status quo. I don't settle with mediocrity. And I think, my friends say I like to live life on the edge. But to me, it's a beauty because it takes me out of my comfort zone. So with competition, maximizer, with achiever and focus. So, I always set very high standards for myself as well as for my clients. But with my achiever and my focus, I don't get distracted. So, in today's world, Liberta and Bruno, with all the social media, you cannot beat me. Social media cannot beat me. My focus and my achiever will not let social media beat me. So that's how I play to any goals I set, I will achieve. That's how I play to my strengths.
That's a good explanation. It's really interesting what you say, because when you complete Clifton Strengths the first time, everyone focus on isolate only one strength of I'm a competition or I'm a maximizer. And as you develop yourself and you grow and you have more self-awareness and awareness of others, you realize that you play your strength really as a package of 10 or 12 playing together. And you also learn also to moderate your strength and use them in a way that it's help others as a team player. So that's a very nice explanation. I would like to know what are your role model and how they inspire you. Can you tell me a little bit about that, Dalia?
Yeah, so I mean, as I mentioned, my competition is number one, and I have achiever and focus. I love sports. I love to watch F1, Formula One. But my role models in sports are Paralympians. And even, I'm doing leadership. Even as leaders, I find Paralympians good leaders as my role models. So one of my favorite is Amy Purdy. She's a para snowboarder, an inspirational speaker. She's an entrepreneur, and also she has been called the hero by Oprah Winfrey. She's an amazing dancer. She dances so gracefully, even with two prostate legs. So Paralympians, really prove to me that the only limitations that we have is in our minds, and that your mental strength can conquer any of your physical disabilities. So my role models, Bruno, are Paralympians.
I can see the maximizer and the focus in action here. So I'll leave you ask a question probably to Liberta as well.
Yeah, so I would love to hear from Liberta. Liberta, so who are your role models, or who is your role model, one person in your life?
Yeah, so I'm a relator. So my my role model is actually my own father. Yeah, so I think there's something very special about him that throughout his life he only worked for only one company. So can you imagine? I
Wow.
mean, in this era. So I think it's quite a surprising fact, yeah, that we still have those kind of people. So yes, my father always told me, even during my early career life, he told me that don't choose the profession because this is a popular job. Yeah, this is got the highest paid in the market. No, he always give advice to me that follow your passion. You need to understand your strength and be excellent in what you do, and I mean be an expert in your chosen areas, and you must be successful in that role. So yeah, that's the one of most important career advice that I took along my career life, and that's also motivate me when I choose a career shift from the engineering towards the HR areas.
Wow, that's inspiring. I mean, yeah, Bruno, yeah, a lot of us keep changing jobs, but I cannot imagine. I don't think we can find someone right
Yeah.
now in our generation who sticks to the same company and the same job, as loyal as your father. But that's really great advice. And that you take your father as your role model.
I love the story. Thank you for sharing that. That's brilliant. And what I love is you both have different model, but they are both very aligned to your strengths when you take a step back. Now, my next question to you, Dalia, is why euphoric coaching? I want to know what's the story behind? Because you could have set up another title, but Euphoric Coaching, it's really, I'm curious to know. That's probably my input somewhere. I would like to know. Can you share with us?
Yeah. So Bruno, euphoric coaching is my ikigai, or in French, it is my raison d'être. Is it right that I pronounce it right?
Yes.
Yes. So I would say there are many signs that this is my calling, to help people with coaching and to develop people. And really, I asked one of my mentor in business. His name is Chris Mohawk. I did a coaching with him, and I asked him, uh, "How do you feel after being coached by me with the Clifton Strengths?" He said, "Euphoric." I said, "Well, I want everybody who gets coached by me to feel euphoric." But really, why euphoric coaching? I have two stories I'd like to share. I mean, this is my raison d'être, it's my purpose. One of my clients who is a stage 4 cancer survivor, his name is Mohit Mathur. I've actually written an article about this story on my LinkedIn. So Mohit one day wrote to me, and he told me how his life has changed positively, from applying what he learned from our coaching session. He calls me his guru, and he said, "I really value the 1.5 hours of my life with you in the coaching session." It was just a phone call. At that time, Zoom was not popular yet. He shared how his perspectives changed, and that led him to be more conscious with his habits, his health, and his well-being, and how he evolved as a leader, daring to lead differently, even with his cancer. And he was sharing with me how he got promoted, like all that joy that he shared with me. His success stories was heartwarming for me. And in his message that he wrote to me, he ended with, and this is someone I've never met in person. The coaching was on the call. He was in India and I was in Singapore. He said, "Do you have any plans to come to India? Delhi, let me know and you can stay with us. My wife, Ankita, will be happy to receive you along with our kids." And he was happy to share with me also that, "Hey, I got my second baby." So to me, that is very meaningful that I've made a mark in somebody's life. And also, my second story is that I have a good friend who is also my salsa dance partner. She was murdered by her husband 2 months after the wedding. And I promised her with all of my heart when I give her my last kiss at her funeral, I said, "For the life that is taken away from you, I shall use this gift of life, every bit of it, to do meaningful work from here onwards." And the day that I launched Euphoric Coaching, I called Mohit to thank him for inspiring me, because it was his message that made me say, "I am going to do this." And he said, "Dalia, thanks for this news. Today is my birthday." And I didn't know it was his birthday. And I still believe that this is maktub, like Paulo Coelho say, the universe conspires. And it's been 4 years now, Bruno.
That's a beautiful story and very inspiring to see how you dedicated to change the life of people. How do you think strength fit in the performance piece when you coach?
Well, I personally, as we all already mentioned, I started at Gallup. So I was introduced first to the Clifton Strengths. I was introduced to the strengths-based psychology and the methodology to perform. So my manager, this great manager, Meliani Wu, she applied the strengths-based methodology in my development. Um, and it gave me so much confidence to lead with my strength every single day, and to be aware of my blind spots to perform. So I use my competition, my maximizer, my focus every single day. I'm very conscious and I see results. So I feel you feel good, to lead with your strength. You don't feel judged. You don't have that limitations, the cognitive bias and your self-doubt and all of that. It just breaks all those barriers in your brain, that will drive you to perform.
Thank you for that. I leave you on
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I'd like to hear from Liberta too. I mean, personally for you, Liberta, the same question. How does strengths feed into the performance piece for you? Maybe also through your observations with the people in your organization.
Yeah, I think I do agree with your statement before that. Um, and I would like to add it like, I really believe that the right strengths actually help you to perform in your particular role. Yeah. Because as an HR person, I think many of us would believe like or dreaming on how to have the right person at the right place in all positions in throughout the organization. And sometimes as an HR person, it's kind of like a frustrating situation because there's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I mean, start from the hiring, from the development, thinking about the career, the growth, how to retain our key talents. And sometimes I just thought to myself, and then can we really find the right person at the right place, until I found and I was introduced to Clifton Strength by Dahlia, yeah, thanks to you. And then after that, my mindset is actually shift towards we need to exercise the right strength at the right time. So it's not just, sometimes it's not about uh, we're having the wrong people at the wrong place. No, but it's just that maybe the person is not aware of their strength, and maybe they're not exercising the right strength at the right time. Because everyone, I believe, wants to have a sense of fulfillment in their job, right? And then I believe when someone is actually exercising their strength, try to minimize their blind spot, that would be the euphoric. Yeah, let me borrow your terms. Euphoric moments of aha moments. Work can be this lovely and so amazing. Yeah, because finally, when you're exercising the right strength at the right situation, yes, I believe you will perform. Even though you don't have that, specific exact strength that may be really suitable in this particular role, but along the years, I've learned that we don't have. I mean, we have like a top 10, top 20 strength, or even we can collaborate with others, yeah, with your peers, with your team members, with your direct lead that have different strength as well, and try to complement each other, working as a team, collaborate together, and then together we can excel and perform in our role.
Thank you for sharing. I think it's a great point here. Strength is really an accelerator in performance when you start to understand how do you work and what do you need to be able to perform. Because each people with different strengths have different lens, like my glasses. And based on your strength and your lens, you know that to deliver a performance, you will need different piece of information than someone else. Like I imagine for you, Liberta, you are high discipline like me, so you might be very good to set up some process, and it's something which is natural for you because you probably all the time do some process. And in
Yep.
opposite, some people who don't necessarily have that or got without isolating strengths more complex because every strength play together. But when you understand who you are, you can effectively understand where you're good at. And when you're not good at, it's not a problem as long as you know who in your team have this
Yep.
strength to help you, which is a piece
Yes.
of complementary partnership. Now, I would like to ask you a question. Um, How did you meet Dalia?
That's a nice story. Yeah, so I met Dahlia I think 3 to 4 years ago. As I mentioned before, that Dahlia introduced me to Clifton Strengths. Yeah, so I met her in a workshop together with my team in the beginning of my journey in Tokopedia. Yeah, so thanks to Dahlia once again, it was a very special moment because Dahlia helped me to connect better with my team. And on top of it, she helped me to really aware about my team strength. Yeah. So at that time, I think I had around less than 10 people. Yeah, 8 or 9 people. And I was new to the company. And then we have this workshop, and then we have the team grid strength where I can see all the 8 9 team members actually have different strength. And I remember that after those series of workshop, I think it is a 2 days workshop together with Dahlia. We adjusted our team structures and roles, and we try to accommodate the team strength better. Yeah. So I remember that one of my team member actually really happy because at that time he was assigned in a job that not really utilizing his strength. It's more to like a center of expertise role. But then he got a relator maximizer influencing strength team. So we shift his role to lead the HR business partnering role. And yeah, at that time he was very happy and really thankful on the change of the role. Yeah, and not just for him but also for the entire team. I found that I got a better team bonding. And then we, after those workshop, actually we really understand each other and how to leverage each other's strength. Yeah, because I'm not really strong at the influencing team. But I have I think 2 or 3 of my team members got really strong at that team. Yeah, so whenever this influencing skill is needed, then I will push 3 of them to help me and cover me in that area. So yeah, that's one example. So yeah, and then some of them some of them are still working with me in my current team. Some of them already rotate to the other team. So yeah, I'm really thankful and grateful. I think that's a very special moment for us.
Yeah,
see
I'd
that
like to add on, Bruno, as the coach and trainer observing the team, I would say for Libertha, it was new for her and she didn't know the team well yet. But I must say that the accelerator of knowing the strengths of the team, with the DNA, the DNA, the collective DNA of the team, and them knowing Liberta's strengths. The team, they're new to Libertha as their leader too. So them to know Liberta's strengths, and Libertha as a new leader, new to the organization, new to the team, she was very open to be vulnerable, to get, to share insights of her strengths to the team. And that is the key. If we talk about accelerator, Bruno, that's the key to trust. The team quickly trusted Libertha. And I must say, with all of my heart, because I connect with every single person in her team, they all fell in love with her. They all love Libertha. Until now, I have people keep telling me how, great experience they have been working with Libertha as their leader.
Yes, trust is one of the main elements of good leadership. And my question to you, Dalia, it's you're so focus orientated, and why is leadership development is so important to you? You have some conversation previously, but I would like you to share, Dalia, why leadership?
Okay. Libertha has a role model, her father. my father is the best leader I've known in my life, you know. So Bruno, leadership is from the self to the tribe, from the home to the office. I believe this. You know, from the home to the country, you look at many, you know, leaders in this world, you know. Uh, so from my consulting days at Gallup, I used to lead employee engagement projects. What I found a lot is that people with bad managers are very miserable at work and they're not able to perform at their best. So, as a competition person, as a maximizer, that frustrates my maximizer. You know, I'm like, I want people to be happy, I want people to be at their best. And so, as you know, the maximizer that I am, and I have Relator in my top 10, and my individualization and my positivity, I couldn't stand it. So, you know, for me is, how do I empower people to be at their best? And the only way is to start with the leaders. So I use the strengths based and the positive psychology with the leaders first, you know. And so that's why leadership development is very important to me.
Do you use a specific framework in your leadership program?
Yes. So my framework is similar to the Gallup's behavioral economics model. You start with strengths, you apply the positive psychology. For me, my framework is self-awareness to self-actualization. Start from within or be without. You know, I come from martial arts background. My brother Brad, who is also my mentor, is trained in Wing Chun, Kung Fu. I do Muay Thai boxing and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Now, spiritually, I learned that one person's development, your character, your attitude, your mindset, all starts from within. So with the leaders I coach, I use the Clifton Strengths assessment tool for insights to start with the self-awareness, always from within. And it's not biased when I use the tool because the tool is scientifically proven. Then I use the power of feedback for action. The results will get you to greater self-confidence and you will naturally self-actualize with your success. Just like Mohit's story that I told you earlier, my client. Yeah. So I would like to hear the same from Liberta. So maybe Liberta, for you, what is your point on leadership development?
Yeah, so I think I would share a leadership development from the organization angle. Yeah, so here in Tokopedia, we believe that leadership development is very critical. We invest a lot in this development program because we believe that the leaders are the one who create the culture, and the culture later on will drive the performance. We have our 3 DNA. Tokopedia, I mean, really appreciate our own culture. So we built 3 DNA start from our founders. Our 3 DNA consists of focus on customer and make it happen, make it better, and also growth mindset. And based on my observation, for the team that has let's say a leader that really have a strong 3 DNA, we can see that the entire team will also exercising the 3 DNA in the expected manner. But when the leaders not really get buy-in or get internalized with our 3 DNA, and that's sometimes the problem happens. Yeah. So yes, we incorporated so many programs. We did experimenting in a lot of leadership development programs. Start from the hiring. We built our own leadership curriculum to internalize our culture as well. And also recently we established like a new coaching ecosystem, because at the end of the day, every single person is actually unique and have different challenges as well. And we cannot survive without coaching because not we yes, we have so many programs, but I don't think that all the programs that we've provided can cater all the individual needs of our leaders, because the company is growing bigger and bigger. We have around right now almost 800 leaders, and majority of them are actually millennials. A majority of them with age less than 30. The average is only 28, 29 years old. So most of them are having the first time experience as a leaders in our own company. So yes, we are aware that we need to invest a lot. And within our coaching ecosystem, we apply the Clifton Strength framework as well. Yeah, we started with our senior leadership team. We gather them and have them involved in the self-assessment with Gallup's with Clifton Strength, and also have a team workshop together with a certain group of leaders. And recently, we also expand this framework to our key talent development programs. You know that I think, yeah, lately the great attrition trend is happening. Yeah, and everyone is just, it's a big headache in HR how to retain their employees. Yeah, and we found out that actually, out of so many criteria, actually the purpose is critical. Yeah, the job purpose is actually very, very critical. So we try to help our leaders and also our employees to understand that why they need to work with us in Tokopedia. We internalize the purpose of work even deeper through coaching, and also help them to be aware of their strength and how to use their strength to accelerate their development, their growth, their career success in their current role or even within the organization. So that's the recent development that we did in our team and our organization.
How people react after, I mean, you talk about a lot of leader, and I love your coaching ecosystem. So how often people receive a coaching session on their strength?
Yeah, so based on the feedback of the recent key talent development program, actually the coaching and mentoring got the highest satisfaction score. So out of so many programs that we provided to them, we have an e-learning, social learning, mentoring, coaching, also many. And then they're very, very excited about the coaching. And right after the coaching, and then can we have this for all of my team members? And then wait. We need to build an internal coach ecosystem well first before we expand it to many more people. Yeah, because we just started this this initiative, I think one and a half years ago. Yeah, and then at that time we don't have any internal coaches, and then after almost 2 years, we already internally certified like 100 plus coaches. But yeah, it's still not enough to coach all the almost 4,000 or 4,000 plus nakama that we have in Tokopedia. So yeah, so we're really happy with this development.
So that's definitely an euphoric moment.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to Dahlia once again.
So
no,
with this,
I'm happy. I'm happy to because I'm also half Indonesian. I think if my father hears this, he will be very happy that I have contributed to the development of talent in Indonesia. So yes, euphoric.
do you think with Tokopedia is growing so quickly, and you start from a small company to now 4,000 people plus? Do you think you will observe a change in terms of everyone seems to be very enthusiastic by coaching, and it will have an impact in the culture, like everyone wants to coach each other because we observe that coaching just develop the brain and help people get better and find solution. Do you believe there will be a change as you coach more and more people, because you have already 100 coach, so it's a lot? Liberta, what do you think, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think we believe that every leader needs to be a great coach. Yeah. So I think, yeah, when we were working as an HR, every day you found different challenges for within different team and within different organization. I mean, the business units or the directors. Yeah.
Mhm.
So uh, uh, when we started to train our leaders to be a coach, and it's not easy, yeah, because sometimes leaders needs when they need to position themselves as a coach, they cannot telling the team to do ABC as they usually do as a leader, right? So they need to step back and try to help the team members to find their own solutions in every single problems that they have. Um, I believe that yes, we have so many supporting ecosystem around, how to track productivity, how to ensure that people have an high ownership or accountability of their work. But I've seen that when the leaders not being able to coach the team members well, uh, usually the problems will last longer than it used to. Used to be. So that's when the HR team needs to, help them. We have a people partner, people advisor for all the leaders, and yes, people partners also learn how to be a coach to their customer, to their leaders as well, to help them to be also a good coach to their team members. So I think it will be quite a long journey, Bruno. But yes, I believe this is one of the right solutions that we need to keep on doing uh, for, yeah, just to ensure that a bigger benefit that we deliver to the leaders and the team in the wide organization as well.
Absolutely, and I can reflect on that. That's my learner who's speaking a lot here. I just done a course with Gallup last week, which was Boss to Coach Part 2, and it's all about one of the capabilities that we observe is the coaching capability for manager and leader are essential. Because instead of telling, we asking the right question, who makes the person reflect, process differently, and take more accountability. But because you ask the right question, the person will come back with a solution which is individualized and will probably match naturally their strength on how they do things. So they will also enjoy more and get more
Yes,
engagement piece. So you tackle
yes.
a very good point and essential point here. Coaching capability are essential to develop people. I totally agree. Now, my next question to you, Dalia, is you know a lot of tools, you're a coach and you have your own coaching practice since 4 years and you have been very well trained. Why do you choose Clifton Strengths as a tool instead of another?
Yeah. Well, I have tried the MBTI and the DISC and all, but I mean, it's obvious, Bruno. First of all, I have been introduced to the tool when I first joined Gallup in 2010. As I mentioned, my great manager applied the strengths-based methodology for my development. I personally, have evolved as a person greatly from it. So, first of all, there's the belief in the tool. I believe in the assessment. And then I got trained to coach, and I trained the coaches as well. Now, what I really like about the Clifton Strengths tool, and all other tools are good too, but why I choose the Clifton Strengths tool, number one, also because I have focus. So I'm loyal like that. I have focus. Just use one and master that well. So But Clifton Strengths is very accurate. I have clients who are very high analytical, and initially they're like, like, is this validated? How is this Clifton Strengths designed? They question how the Clifton Strengths is designed in terms of accuracy. But all I would say that all of my clients who have gone, who initially have doubts around all these personality assessments or psychometric assessments, after they learn about their strengths from the Clifton Strengths, they say this is really me, and they say this is crazy how accurate Clifton Strengths describe their innate talents. So one is accuracy. The other one that I really like Clifton Strengths is, yes, it brings out the uniqueness in you, with the different combinations of your talents and strengths. Most importantly for me as a coach is the how. So it's very practical to motivate my coaches into action. I mean, if I say, okay, Bruno, you're a strategic thinker. I am a strategic thinker, Liberta strategic thinker. But what Clifton Strengths does is we all think differently. So you are maybe the futuristic person, so you're very visionary. Liberta is the context person, so she's more about what had happened in the past. She wants to know the context. And then maybe I am the ideation person, so I'm the creative strategic thinker. So it's more to me precise, but also practical to take action. Like if I say, oh, you are introverted, I don't like when people say you got to be extroverted, but how? But in this case, exactly. And Clifton Strengths also give you the action points on how you can maximize your strength and how to play to your strengths. So that feeds into the practicality of the how my clients can take action forward.
In regard to performance, Dalia, how do you create accountability using Clifton Strengths? Do you have some example or something to share on that?
So blind spots are to blame for many accidents. Okay, so when my clients are aware of the powerful dynamics of their strengths as well as their blind spots, especially the blind spots, you're talking about accountability, and this is the accelerator, because a lot of people, they're not aware of their blind spots, but from the beginning, if you're aware of the blind spots of your strengths, most of the time my clients will straight away go, and this is the euphoric moment. Okay, Dalia, tell me what I need to do. There's acceptance and appreciation to, nobody told me this is my blind spot, So my clients are motivated to take ownership of their action plan for change and transformation because it is unique. It's not a plug and play or one size fits all approach, So they accountability comes from their awareness of their blind spots and relating to their current situation, the current state of engagement or productivity or performance, Another way is also we will identify the accountability buddy. So if you have a team who actually would complement you as a partner to push you, to stay accountable. I mean, if not, then it would be me. I would use my achiever and my focus to hold them accountable. Yes. So maybe in my case is I'm doing the coaching, Bruno, right? I would like to hear from Liberta, coming from HR and managing, a lot of people in terms of performance. So accountability would be a very huge challenge for you, Liberta. What are some of your challenges when it comes to, accountability, people not really meeting your standards? What are some of your challenges?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to accountability, I think here in Tokopedia we've invest a lot in getting people to have the high ownership because it's part of our DNA. And as I mentioned before, we also have established the right infrastructure to hold everyone accountable to their OKR, to their goals, to their have like we have like a goals tracking system. We have even a well-being monitoring system. So many systems. So I think the key that I think another challenge that we found in the organization is even though everyone is actually pushed to hold on accountable of their target, their goals, and their responsibility, their assigned projects, but we also need the leaders to help in problem solving, right? So speaking of the blind spot, because um, in many cases, I think it's people thinks that, oh, I'm not maybe I don't have the right capability to deliver this project. Maybe I'm not the right person in this role. Yeah, and then maybe I found some cases when people got promoted and then have a bigger responsibility, and then they started to freak out and then, oh, I don't think I can. I'm not be able to deliver this and to give a significant impact to the team. And then when I coach them, actually they're just not realizing their blind spot. So I have one cases where one leader actually, have a analytical, intellect, very high intellectual as well, intellection as well. And then during their any problem solving, decision making, the team seems like the team perceive him as like a slower decision maker. And oh, you are the one who makes us not successful in this project, and there's some accountability problems in our leader. And when I talk with the leader, actually it's not having problem with accountability problem, but because the intellection and analytical strength that he exercised so much, he enjoy having a brain like a long brainstorming discussion, asking where do you get this data, why this, why that, why don't like this, what if we try this scenario, and so on and so forth. And I told him, oh, actually this is not accountability problem, this is your blind spot of your strength. So please get exercise more become more simple, more practical, and you should use your other strength. Fortunately, he has like another strength which is a maximizer as well. Yeah, and we told him to exercise the other strength as well to balance the blind spot that you have. So sometimes it's not only about accountability, but during coaching session, then you will see the right root cause problem, and then it helps you to solve the issue in the right manner.
That's a very nice example you bring here. And I think it's important to know your team, to know who you work, and know your strength, but the strength of others, because sometimes your team member can give you some insight about receiving the right feedback to say, hang on, here you overuse your strength. I think we are going a little bit excessive here. Jim, would you like to say something?
Yeah, let me there was a question in chat earlier, and I want to kind of ask you guys. I know we got some more stuff to cover, but we're kind of up against the end here. But I want to get this in let me start with, I want all three of you to kind of answer this question. If you thought about some tips for managers, because managers are under fire at the moment, right? All kinds of things are going wrong. Tips for managers in managing with Clifton Strengths. So if you think a tip or two, I won't prescribe who it goes to, but who wants to start as you think about coaches helping managers or managers who might be listening, tips to help them? Who wants to start? A couple quick tips on our way out here. What do you think?
That's perfect. I will start with my activator.
I like it.
So the tip, I think, especially we are in a time now where people work remotely, in office, hybrid, etc. Have some ongoing coaching conversation. That's important to stay engaged, and you cannot, well, it's rare that people perform is they don't know what to do. So by asking the right question, you will get more engaged. And as a manager, you need to develop this coaching capability, because it's important to understand that a manager plays for 70% of the variance of performance in organization. That will be my tip.
Great tip. Libertha, how about you?
I will suggest for leaders to be able to ask the right questions. So maybe the first tip is, don't trust or believe the first word that comes from your team member, because you need to deep dive. People can, I don't think, when let's say I invite people for one-on-one with me, right? They will prepare, so many scenarios. Okay, I will answer this when Libertha asks this, So you need to keep asking until you find, oh, this is the root cause. This is the real feelings. This is the real tangible things that experience that they have. Because people will say, oh yes, I'm okay, I'm happy in this job, I'm happy this, and then 2 months later they submit a resignation letter, and then you find, what? So yeah, asking the right questions. Don't really believe in the surface, but deep dive into the deepest that you can dig in.
I like it. Dahlia?
Yeah, so I would just share one story, of my client. So I had a client, Mansur Bai from Salesforce. This is a tip for managers before you even coach. So what he did was he was very open to share his strengths. So first of all, I always start with self-awareness. So as a leader, before you go on and coach your team members, learn about your strengths, learn about your blind spots, and try to match that to your leadership style. And when you understand yourself as a leader, then if you can go out to your team and share, here's my strength, this is how I lead, this is why I have these expectations or these standards, or this is why I respond to this. Now, what it helps is that your team, to Liberta's point, they will start to open up to you. So whatever scenario they had, thought of the night before, they will forget all of that. Because now as a leader, you open yourself, you're vulnerable, you share. It will be very easy for your team members to open up and to want to receive from you when you discuss about their strengths. Based on the insight from the Clifton Strengths. That will be my first. You got to do that as a leader.
No, that's great. Bruno, let's take a second and thank our guests. While you're doing that, we've got some great recognition in the chat room I'll bring in as well. But Bruno, take a second and thank our guests.
I would like to thank you, both of you, Libertha and Dalia, because first, it was very difficult to match the time zone to be all in the same room together. And I know you've put so much effort in preparing that. And you were so responsive. And thank you. You share a lot of tips, a lot of good insight here. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us too. Thank you, Libertha.
Thank you for having us. Thank you,
yes.
Bruno.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Bruno. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, truly global and truly around the world, and it is a challenge, but it's been great to get, as we think about the global representation that we have here today. Super proud to be able to host this for you, and some great stories and some great advice. Certainly some great acknowledgement from the chat room. So from me as well, I'll say thanks for coming out and appreciating that. With that, we'll remind everyone to take full advantage of all the resources. Some of them we talked about today, now available in Gallup Access. You can head out to gallup.com/CliftonStrengths. Maybe you're hearing this and this is your first introduction to Clifton Strengths, and you're like, man, how do I get more of this goodness in my life? Well, we got some instructions on how to get that purchased out there. Gallup.com/CliftonStrengths. For coaching, master coaching, or if you want to become a Gallup certified strengths coach, you can contact us as well. Coaching@Gallup.com. We'll get you directed to the right person on that one. If you have any questions, same email address, coaching@Gallup.com. You can find us on any social platform just by searching Clifton Strengths. And we definitely want to thank you for joining us. You guys have an amazing draw. I saw a whole bunch of new people that I've never seen before. And so if you're joining with us for the first time coming to one of these webcasts and you want to see more of them, we have a whole bunch more as well. Gallup.eventbrite.com. Just follow us there and you'll get a notification whenever we publish anything live. We want to thank you for joining us today. And if you found this helpful, we'd ask that you'd share it.